Born on the wealthy planet of Naboo, Palpatine's early life was shrouded in secrecy. Even as a youth, darkness simmered within him. He craved power, hungry to control the galaxy from the shadows. Palpatine learned to mask his true intentions, cultivating a facade of wisdom and benevolence. He honed his skills in manipulation, becoming a master of deception. Few suspected the ambition that burned within the seemingly unassuming senator. Palpatine's true nature remained hidden from the public eye. He carefully constructed an image of a humble servant of the people. His charisma and eloquence drew others to him, unaware of the venomous snake lurking beneath the surface. He studied the political landscape of the Republic, identifying its weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Each interaction, every conversation served as a stepping stone in his grand scheme. Palpatine sought out ancient Sith teachings, drawn to their promise of ultimate power. He delved into forbidden knowledge, learning the ways of the dark side of the Force. His thirst for power knew no bounds, fueled by a desire to reshape the galaxy in his own image. He trained in secret, mastering the dark side's seductive allure and destructive potential. The seeds of Palpatine's ambition were sown early, watered by his lust for control. He patiently waited for the opportune moment to make his move, a predator biding his time. The unsuspecting galaxy remained oblivious to the threat that lurked in their midst. The stage was set for Palpatine's rise, a tragedy orchestrated by a master manipulator. Palpatine entered the Galactic Senate as a representative for Naboo. He presented himself as a voice of reason, a champion for peace and diplomacy. His eloquence and apparent concern for the Republic earned him respect and admiration. He carefully cultivated alliances, forging connections with influential senators. Each connection brought him closer to the heart of power. Behind closed doors, Palpatine's true nature began to surface. He exploited the Republic's bureaucracy, sowing discord and distrust among its members. He fueled separatist movements, subtly manipulating events to create chaos. The more unstable the Republic became, the stronger his position grew. Palpatine used his growing influence to manipulate key votes and sway political decisions. He positioned himself as a mediator, seemingly seeking compromise and resolution. However, each decision served his ultimate goal to weaken the Republic from within. He played both sides, manipulating the Senate like a grand puppet master. As the Republic teetered on the brink of chaos, Palpatine presented himself as the only one capable of restoring order. He promised stability, security, and a return to peace. His carefully crafted persona resonated with a fearful and uncertain populace. They yearned for a strong leader, unaware that the savior they sought was the architect of their despair. Palpatine recognized the Jedi Order as a significant threat to his plans. Their unwavering commitment to peace and justice stood in direct opposition to his desire for control. He needed to discredit the Jedi, turning the Republic against its protectors. He orchestrated events to create the illusion of Jedi overreach and incompetence. The Trade Federation's blockade of Naboo provided Palpatine with the perfect opportunity. He manipulated the situation using his alter ego, Darth Sidious, to orchestrate the crisis. The blockade fueled anti-Jedi sentiment, painting them as ineffective and out of touch. Palpatine exploited the situation to his advantage, further solidifying his position. He subtly encouraged the rise of the separatist movement, secretly controlling both sides of the conflict. He supplied the separatists with weapons and resources, ensuring the conflict escalated. The Clone Wars, a conflict of his own making, would serve as the perfect tool to consolidate his power. Palpatine used fear and propaganda to turn the Republic against the Jedi. He painted them as warmongers, their actions driven by a lust for power. He sowed seeds of doubt and suspicion, slowly eroding the trust the Republic had in its protectors. The stage was set for their downfall, a tragedy orchestrated by the Sith Lord pulling the strings. The outbreak of the Clone Wars marked a turning point in Palpatine's rise to power. The conflict, meticulously orchestrated by the Sith Lord, plunged the galaxy into chaos. He used the war to amass emergency powers, consolidating his control over the Republic. He positioned himself as the only one capable of guiding the Republic through the crisis. Palpatine carefully manipulated the war's events, ensuring it dragged on for years. He played both sides against each other, prolonging the conflict and deepening the galaxy's despair. The longer the war raged, the more the Republic became reliant on his leadership. He used the war to justify the creation of a vast clone army, ostensibly to defend the Republic. However, these clones, bred for obedience, were nothing more than pawns in his game. He had engineered the war, the army, and the very tools of his victory. The Clone Wars ravaged the galaxy, leaving countless worlds in ruins. Yet, amidst the chaos, Palpatine's power continued to grow. He thrived on the conflict, using it to reshape the Republic in his own image. The galaxy, blinded by war and fear, failed to recognize the true puppet master behind it all. Section 5, Order 66. The Jedi fall. Darkness rises. With the Jedi Order stretched thin by the Clone Wars, Palpatine saw his opportunity to strike. He had spent years manipulating events, positioning the Jedi as enemies of the Republic. Now, with the galaxy primed for their downfall, he unleashed his masterstroke, Order 66. Order 66, a secret protocol embedded within the Clone Army's programming, branded the Jedi as traitors to the Republic. With chilling efficiency, the clones turned on their Jedi generals, slaughtering them across the galaxy. The Jedi, caught off guard by the betrayal of those they had sworn to protect, were systematically eliminated. The few Jedi who survived the initial onslaught were forced into hiding, branded as enemies of the state. The Jedi Order, once the guardians of peace and justice, was all but extinguished. Their downfall marked a turning point in galactic history, ushering in an era of darkness. With the Jedi Order shattered, Palpatine's path to absolute power lay open. He had eliminated his most significant threat, paving the way for his transformation from Chancellor to Emperor. The galaxy, reeling from the Jedi's fall, was ripe for the taking. Section 6. The birth of an empire. Palpatine seizes control. In the aftermath of the Jedi Purge, Palpatine addressed the Senate, delivering a masterful performance of grief and outrage. He blamed the Jedi for instigating the Clone Wars, painting them as power-hungry traitors who had attempted to overthrow the Republic. He declared that the Republic was weak and vulnerable, in desperate need of a strong leader to guide it through the darkness. The Senate, cowed by fear and manipulated by Palpatine's web of deceit, readily accepted his pronouncements. They granted him unprecedented emergency powers, effectively dissolving the Republic and paving the way for the rise of the Galactic Empire. Palpatine declared himself Emperor, the absolute ruler of the galaxy. He disbanded the Senate, silencing any remaining opposition to his rule. The Galactic Republic, once a beacon of democracy and freedom, was no more. In its place stood the Empire, a tyrannical regime built on fear and oppression. The galaxy had fallen prey to the machinations of a master manipulator. Palpatine, the seemingly benevolent senator, had revealed his true face as a ruthless tyrant. The reign of the Emperor had begun, casting a long shadow over the galaxy. Section 7. The Emperor's grip. Tyranny reigns supreme. With the Empire firmly established, Palpatine set about consolidating his power. He created a vast military machine, enforcing his will through fear and intimidation. He dissolved local governments, replacing them with imperial governors who answered only to him. The galaxy groaned under the weight of his oppressive rule. Palpatine ruthlessly crushed any dissent, silencing those who dared to oppose him. He established the Inquisitorius, a group of dark side assassins tasked with hunting down and eliminating any surviving Jedi. He manipulated the media, controlling the flow of information and shaping public opinion. He poured resources into developing new weapons of war, seeking to maintain his grip on the galaxy through overwhelming force. The Death Star, a planet-destroying superweapon, became the ultimate symbol of his reign of terror. The Emperor's grip on the galaxy tightened with each passing day. Fear and oppression became the norm as the light of freedom flickered and dimmed. The galaxy, once a vibrant tapestry of diverse cultures and ideals, was slowly being crushed under the heel of tyranny. Section 8. A Galaxy in Chains. The legacy of Palpatine's rule. Palpatine's reign of terror left an indelible mark on the galaxy. His lust for power plunged countless worlds into chaos and despair. The Clone Wars, a conflict of his own making, devastated entire civilizations. The Jedi Order, once the guardians of peace, lay in ruins, their legacy tarnished by his lies. The Empire's oppressive rule stifled innovation and creativity. Fear permeated every level of society, extinguishing the flames of hope and rebellion. The galaxy, once vibrant and alive, became a pale shadow of its former self. Palpatine's legacy extended far beyond his death, casting a long shadow over the galaxy. The wounds he inflicted ran deep, leaving scars that would take generations to heal. The rise of the First Order, a successor to the Empire, served as a chilling reminder of the darkness he unleashed upon the galaxy. Yet, even in the darkest of times, the spirit of rebellion refused to be extinguished. The seeds of hope, sown by those who dared to oppose Palpatine's tyranny, would eventually blossom into a new era of freedom. Section 9. Hope endures. The fight against Palpatine's shadow. Despite the Emperor's best efforts, the spark of rebellion never truly died. From the ashes of the Jedi Order rose a new generation of heroes. Luke Skywalker emerged as a symbol of hope. The Rebel Alliance challenged the Empire's might. They fought for a better future. The fight against Palpatine's legacy was long and arduous. Yet, through it all, the spirit of hope endured. The galaxy, united in its desire for freedom, refused to be broken. The Emperor's reign of terror ultimately came to an end. While his shadow lingered, the galaxy had taken its first steps towards healing. The fight for freedom, however, was far from over. The legacy of Palpatine's rule served as a